Welcome to From the Other Side of the Pass, the hospitality podcast brought to you by
Lucy, the lover of the people,
and Ruth, the relatable EHO, bringing real solutions to real challenges faced by food business operators. Whether you're a startup restaurateur or managing a factory floor, our informative, relatable chat will help you to grow and develop and achieve greater success.
come on.
Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to The Other Side of the Pass. This is a small portion or a side plate, whatever you want to call it. It's just going to be a quick podcast. I'm going to talk about one pathogen, one bacteria, one harmful bacteria that if you run a food business or if you're a food producer, this is just a quick introduction to Listeria. So, why do we need to worry about Listeria? I'm sure most of you should have heard of Listeria if you've done your level 2 food hygiene. The reason we need to worry about it is because there is a high mortality rate. So basically, if you get it, there is a good chance that you will end up in hospital. 85 to 90% chance you'll be in hospital, and a 70% death rate. Now, if I got Listeria right now, I would probably be okay. The symptoms are flu-like symptoms and a fever. I should be okay. But if you're old or if you're immunocompromised or young, very young, then the consequences are greater. The illness is more severe. If you're pregnant, then there is a great risk of either a stillbirth or a spontaneous abortion. So it's a serious bacteria. It's one to worry about it. So even though less people get it, the consequences of getting it are greater. Okay, so as I've mentioned, the symptoms, flu-like symptoms and fever, but the more severe cases, you end up with meningitis or abscesses in your brain or other organs. So therefore, it's not very pleasant for anyone. It's got a very long incubation period. So that's the time from eating the food to the time that you become ill. It can be one day, so the day after you've eaten it, or it could be up to 90 days. So that's 3 months. So when there's an outbreak, it can be really difficult to find the source because how do you know? I can barely remember what I ate yesterday, let alone 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 3 months ago. So that's a problem. So which foods do we need to worry about? Which are the ones that are most likely to potentially have Listeria in them? So Listeria is found in the environment naturally. It will be on your raw ingredients. It potentially will be on your raw meat, raw veg, raw fish. It will come in on your raw ingredients. You may be a natural carrier. Apparently 10% of people are natural carriers of Listeria. So that's the source of it, the raw ingredients. But if it ends up on your ready-to-eat food, your chilled food, your food that it comes in chilled, or you prepare it in its chilled and then you serve it cold as well. So your salads, your chilled food, cold smoked fish, charcuterie, biltong, those type of foods. So just as an example, in 2018, 2017 and 2019, so this outbreak lasted a long time. There was a Listeria outbreak in South Africa. 1,060 people were ill. Obviously, there were probably some people that got ill but didn't go to the doctors, weren't ill enough, so there were probably more than that. And 216 deaths as a result of this particular outbreak. So that's why I thought I'd give you a quick 10 minutes on it, just to give you a bit of knowledge. So, just quickly, I'm saying Listeria, but the actual bacteria you need to worry about is Listeria Monocytogenes, which is difficult to say. Most people call it Listeria mono. So, bacteria, we call them one name, E. coli, Listeria, Salmonella, but that's like the family name. So obviously my name's Ruth Baker. There's six of us in my family, me, my husband, 4 kids. We're all called Baker, the Bakers. but each one of us are very different and we've got our own name. And that's the same with bacteria. So you've got Listeria, but within that family, you've got lots of different types of Listeria. There's Listeria innocua, so that doesn't do you, that's not harmful, that's not a pathogen. Listeria mono is the pathogen, that's the one that's going to make you ill. It's like the black sheep of that family, I suppose. Same with E. coli, you've got E. coli 0157. Oh, there's other ones, I'm not going to do it because I haven't researched that for this podcast, but there's Salmonella jejuni, or is that Campylobacter jejuni? Do you see, they've got their first name and their surname, so to speak. So anyway, Listeria mono is the one that makes people ill. And the problem with Listeria mono, it's a very tough bacteria. Okay, so it grows in low temperatures, up or down to -2 degrees C. Legal requirement in the UK, your fridge should be, or the food in your fridge should be 8 degrees or lower. Now, anyone I work with, I always tell them to have a target temperature of at least 5 degrees in their fridge. So target temperature of 5, legal requirements 8 degrees. Listeria is even going to be growing at 5 degrees. If your fridge goes up to 8 degrees, Listeria grows twice as quick as it would at 5. And if your fridge goes up to 10 degrees, it'll grow 3 times as fast. So with all bacteria, if you just consume 1 or 2, the likelihood of them making you ill is lower. But if the bacteria's had time to grow in the fridge to a higher level, you're more likely to become ill from it. Okay, so that's why we put food in the fridge, to slow down the growth of the bacteria. Gosh, I hope I'm not sounding too boring. Okay, so not only does Listeria grow in the fridge, it will survive freezing. So if you're making ice cream in your restaurant and you've contaminated it with Listeria, you're not going to cook that before you serve it to your customers. So if there's a lot in there, it's going to be there. You're not going to get rid of it. It grows in oxygen. It grows with and without oxygen. So if you put it in a vac pack, it will still be growing. So putting food in the vac pack, removing the oxygen, prevents some bacteria multiplying and growing, but not Listeria. Carries on. Also, pH. So with a low pH, which means a high acidity. So for example, surely I'm teaching my granny to suck eggs. Lemon juice, vinegar has a low pH. Lemon juice, I think, is about 2, pH of 2. Vinegar's about 2. Listeria will grow down to 4, pH of 4. Now, tomatoes have got a pH of 4.6, and therefore they're quite acidic. Listeria will still grow in that. And also, it likes salty conditions. So people who are curing their food or brining their food, that doesn't prevent Listeria from growing either. Okay. However, we can kill it. We can kill it with 75 degrees temperature. So as long as you cook it properly, it will be dead. Well, I don't suppose you're cooking it, you're killing it, aren't you? So as long as the food you serve is cooked to 75 degrees or above, then there's no risk of Listeria. The risk is it coming in on your raw ingredients and then you contaminating the food. The other thing that, let me just quickly tell you about the shape. This is relevant. If you think of Listeria, what it would look like, obviously it's tiny, but it looks like a Tic Tac, a hairy Tic Tac with lots of flagella. They're called flagella. They're like little sperm tails, so lots of little sperm tails on there. So it's mobile in water and it loves damp environments. So if you've got, again, a particularly wet kitchen, problems with condensation, if the Listeria has been picked up in the water, you can end up with it in the condensation, which then drips on your ready-to-eat food and cross-contaminates. The other problem is it forms a biofilm. So this is where lots of Listeria clump together. I don't know the science of it exactly. I've read it, but they sort of call to one another. Hi, Listeria, come over here. So all these Listeria bacteria clump together, forming this biofilm, and then together they produce a slime on top of it. So if you think about those flagella that I talked about, they grip on. So they grip onto any surface that's not smooth. That's why legally everything should be smooth, impervious and easy to clean. So it grips on, and then it's really difficult to remove it. It sticks like shit to a blanket, as my father would say. So this biofilm is really tough and not necessarily resistant to the cleaning chemicals, but that just makes it hard to kill it. Kill it and remove it. Okay, right. I promised this would be 10 minutes. How to control it. Firstly, get good quality raw ingredients. If your suppliers provide a clean, dirty product, if that makes sense. So you assume that all meat has bacteria that's harmful on there, but you want it as clean as possible with as few as bacteria as possible. If you're buying cold smoked fish or charcuterie, you need to get it off a reputable supplier that knows what they're doing and knows how to control the risks, or hazards actually, knows how to control the hazards that they have. Keep your fridges at 5 degrees. If you can, go colder. Keep everything clean. So, well, I say everything. You should be keeping everything clean anyway. It's really important that your equipment is in good condition. This is, again, smooth, impervious, and easy to clean. These are the reasons why the bacteria can't grip on if it's a smooth stainless steel surface or gloss, anything that's slippy and slidey. Avoid condensation, so good ventilation. Make sure your fridges are clean, none of that scum that builds up. That's where the word squeaky clean comes from, isn't it? If you can squeak the surface, it means it's squeaky clean. And I'm almost there. Finally, cross-contamination. You keep your raw ingredients completely separate from your ready-to-eat food. If you've just got a small little fridge, you keep the raw meat at the bottom. You don't forget, veg grows in the ground. Your dirty veg, your carrots, your potatoes, they have got the potential of having harmful bacteria on them. And you must, and then keep that away from the clean stuff, okay? You wouldn't want to eat the dirt off a potato unless it's been cooked, obviously. So don't mingle them together. Shelf life, you must stick to the shelf life of the manufacturing. Make sure you follow that. Don't forget also, you might get a product with 21 days on. It says once open, consume within 2 days. Follow those rules as hospitality. In hospitality, if you're making a ready-to-eat product, it shouldn't have a shelf life of longer than day of production plus 3, so 4 days. Okay, and if you are a producer listening in, then if you want to go over a 5-day shelf life, there is detailed guidance that you would need to look into. Okay, so hopefully that's been 10 minutes. Hopefully you've learned something. If you want to look into more information, then Karen Goodburn is a very good source of information. She is the chief executive. She is the owner of the Chilled Food Association, and there is a lot of free information on there if you need it. If you've got any questions for me, then email me Ruth at simply-safer.co.uk. I hope that's been useful, and I will do another side portion of another bacteria. If you want more information on other stuff, have a look for any new episodes. Like, follow and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, then Lucy's going to tell you what to do.
Please like, follow, and subscribe. You will never miss an episode, and you will make us very happy, ladies.
Yes, we've got plans.
Big plans.
Thank you.